a battery swap partner takes a massive jab at NIO, and this could potentially also hurt, well, it will hurt NIO's future sales, and this is objectively speaking. All right, so that partner is, of course, Geely. All right, Geely, they've signed the agreement that they're gonna make cars that can also use battery swap with NIO, and that was a big agreement. But just a couple days ago, they launched the Zeekr 001, the 2024 variant, and they took a massive big jab at NIO. When the CEO of Geely Group was presenting sales metrics, he noted how a lot of companies would always say that they're the best-selling EV above 300k RMB. And if you take a look at the chart, yeah, NIO's up there, ET5, ET5T, and also in the SUV segment, ES6 is up there, all right? And he said, but what if you add the Zeekr 001 to that metric? And boom, Zeekr 001 is on top of all these other guys, mainly NIO, all right, taking a jab at NIO. And he even said that if you look at just the touring market, Zeekr has 60% of the market share. And you can tell the ET5T is in there as well at second place, but clearly the dominance is quite big. Have a listen.
This screen shows the year 2023. Price more than 300,000 Chinese brand pure electric cars and SUVs sales ranking. If the sales of 001 are added, the result is obvious at a glance. Whether it's an SUV or a sedan, Zeekr 001 is always the first. Of course, there are people who say, why don't you learn from them and publish a ranking of your own? If it's really done, this is the result. In 2023, among all the high-end touring models sold in the country, whether it's a gasoline car or an electric car, Zeekr 001 is the first of all products equivalent to at least 6 out of every 10 touring cars sold are 001S. In the world of touring cars, there are only Zeekrs and others. Thank you. Of course, it's not just the 001. Every product of Zeekr is a market benchmark.
Now, what's even more shocking is the launch of the new car, the Zeekr 001 2024 variant, which I think is the nightmare for NIO, especially for ET5T and ET5. Because let me just read out some of the specs for you guys, okay? So the starting price is 269k RMB, upwards to 229k RMB for the new Zeekr 001. For reference, NIO ET5 and ET5T starts at 298k RMB. Okay, so the starting price for 001 a little bit lower, and then this car will have the 8295 chip, which NIO's 2024 version will also have. Zeekr 001 will have LiDAR. The 2024 variant will have LiDAR, which of course NIO also has LiDAR. Now here's where the differences start taking place. The Zeekr 001 will have a 32-inch heads-up display. That is not available in a NIO, in ET5 and ET5T. There's no option to even choose a heads-up display, even if you wanted to pay for it. There's just not even an option. So there's one difference. And then the biggest difference, dual chamber air suspension on the Zeekr 001. This is massive, okay? For NIO's, only the ES8 has dual chamber air suspension. The ET5 and ET5T are still spring suspensions. So here we got Zeekr 001 dual chamber air suspension versus spring suspension. Yeah, not exactly a fair fight in my opinion, all right? And then Zeekr also has CDC combined with that, so the ride is going to be quite comfortable. Acceleration 3.3 seconds if you go for the all-wheel drive variant, so that's going to be quite fast versus NIO's 3.6. All right, they said it's 3.7, 3.8, but NIO, you can get it down to 3.6-ish. So it doesn't really matter, but it's mostly the suspension and the price. And just from the announcement, all right, you can tell, even Geely's CEO said that we are the king of 卷王, which is basically we undercut all the competitors out there. And it's true. Cheaper car with better specs. That's what the whole entire Chinese market has been doing, EV market.
Not all models can become the 001. The 001 continues to refresh the record of the new energy industry with its strength. Only the all-new 001 surpasses the 001, leading China's high-end pure electric vehicles to rise upwards and spread outwards.
Turns out Zeekr is the volume kings. In terms of pure electric competitiveness, the strongest contender is still Zeekr.
On February 27th, the Geek 001 welcomed a mid-term facelift, with 4 models on the market, prices ranging from $269,000 to $329,000.
This time, the LiDAR was smoothly mounted on the car, and the appearance kit full of combat atmosphere also arrived as scheduled.
As the top topic in this segment, let's ask how good the new Geek 001 is this time. To further highlight the sporty attributes, the new Geek 001 strengthens the fighting attributes of the entire vehicle. The larger trapezoidal lower grille is combined with triangular air ducts on both sides of the upper side, effectively combining aerodynamics at the same time, making it more of the style of the family flagship, Geek 001F.
Overhead, the newly integrated LiDAR will match Mobilité's frame-making scheme, thus helping NGP achieve a higher level of overall performance.
At the vehicle interaction level, the new Geek 001 will be based on the Qualcomm 8295 chips Guard, bringing a smoother car machine experience. Coupled with the introduction of the 35.5-inch AGID, the 3-screen linkage experience is sure to be more groundbreaking. The interior materials of the new Geek 001 are extremely elegant, with a large area of genuine leather and Alcantara material upholstery, further elevating the cabin to a high-end feel. The optional blue and white color scheme fully exhibits the yacht-like style. At the rack control level, the new Geek 001 is fully armed. The rear-wheel drive model has increased the maximum power of the motor to 310 kilowatts, whereas the total system power of the 4-wheel drive model has reached 580 kilowatts, and the 0 to 100 acceleration time is only 3.3 seconds. In the battery section, the new car comes in 2 versions, including a 95-degree God-shaped battery and a 100-degree Kirin battery, and all models support 800-volt supercharging. With the gradual improvement of the brand's V3 charging pile, users can completely get rid of range anxiety and enjoy the fun of driving. After waiting for more than 1,000 days, the new Geek 001 has evolved into the 2.0 era, witnessing the entire process of the Geek brand's continuous development and growth. Today, when the needs of users for differentiation are becoming ever more pressing, the new Geek 001 successfully continues its own unique characteristics. Leveraging the continuous iteration of intelligent software and hardware, it continues to maintain a strong position in the segmented field.
So this is bad news for NIO's ET5 and ET5T. I mean, obviously, it's in the same price range. People will be considering those two vehicles. The biggest advantage for NIO is, of course, battery swap. With Zeekr, you still got to charge, even though you charge fast. To be honest, if you're at a busy charging station, you're not going to charge that fast. So, but in my opinion, some people might not see it as justifiable to spend more on a NIO, where you're losing some of the specs like no heads-up display and downgrading from dual chamber air suspension to spring suspensions. So obviously, Zeekr is undercutting the entire EV market. I mean, this is going to hurt sales of everybody. And I think the person crying the most would actually be Xiaomi with their SU7, because now, man, how are you going to price the SU7? It's got to be lower than this, all right, if they want to actually sell. Otherwise, people are just going to buy the Zeekr 001. So, damn, huge undercut, man. What can NIO do to get sales back? Well, nothing at the moment, because they've already come out with the 2024 variant. But I think the sub-brand car, hopefully, right, the whole purpose of the sub-brand car, according to the CEO, is to flip the table. So, you know, I think NIO CEO can also see that, hey, Zeekr is on the table. We're going to go flip that table. So when that sub-brand car comes out, hopefully it's going to have better specs than even this, and hopefully be even at an even cheaper price. And that's going to just persuade everybody to buy the sub-brand car. So, man, I mean, like, the whole entire EV market here in China is so competitive. People are fighting for sales, undercutting each other, and price cuts after price cuts. Damn, it's crazy, man. It's insane. And there's nothing wrong with being competitive. It really pushes everybody forward, forces everybody forward. But, you know, the competition isn't that healthy, and people doing vile price cuts. So even though I'm partial to NIO, and I think ET5 is a great car, ET5T, even more fantastic car, ES6, fantastic car, I would always choose NIO for the battery swap. But some people might choose the Zeekr 001 over a NIO, and it's very compelling choice because of all the options that you can get for that price point. I mean, just battery size wise, for NIO, if you want to get a 100 kilowatt hour battery pack, you have to add an additional 58,000 RMB. So that just jacks up the price even more. So there's going to be an even bigger gap between the two. So people buying NIO really are just coming for battery swap. All right. So the specs wise, you know, it's unfair competition right now. But battery swap, still a big seller, guys. So it's going to hurt sales, but there will still be people buying NIO ET5 and ET5T for the battery swap and the ecosystem. But it's something to be aware of, all right? As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.